Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. If you don't know me, my name is Allie. I'm married to my childhood sweetheart and we have a 20-month-old, oh my gosh, Allie. And we have a 20-month-old daughter named Everly. And now we are currently pregnant with baby number 2. I am 16 weeks along, and in this video I am going to be sharing with you guys our TTC journey, along with some tips and also early symptoms of pregnancy, like the 2-week wait symptoms. So I know I have a lot of mamas and women on here that are currently in their TTC journey, and I thought maybe this could be helpful to you guys. With our first daughter, she was a surprise, so didn't have much of a journey there. I remember I had a comment one time of a lady, she's playing over here so if you guys can hear her, but I had a comment. Really? Are you eating your snack? But I remember I had a lady comment on one of my videos and said, hey, what was your TTC journey like? And I literally was like, what is TTC? What does that even mean? I had no idea. So if that's you and you are completely clueless to all this, I totally understand. I was you. So I have learned a lot through trying to conceive this baby, and I thought maybe I would just share it. I don't know. Hopefully it's helpful. I'm just going to pretty much cover everything from the very beginning. So TJ and I have always wanted our kids to be close, and once we got pregnant with Everly, we had already been married 3 years, so it wasn't like that crazy. I had just turned 22 and TJ was still 22 at the time, and we were excited. So yes, it was a surprise, but we were excited right off the bat. We were ready to do this and we were ready to start our family. We always talked about having our kids pretty close. We wanted them to be about 2 years apart, and we had talked about maybe starting to try for baby number 2 when she turned a year old. And that rolled around, she turned a year, and we just weren't ready. She was still very much in the baby stage. We decided to wait a little while, and I think she was around maybe a few months after her birthday, and I was really getting baby fever bad. And I was like, okay, if we can just figure out when we're gonna start trying, that will help me. That will help me just chill and know that, okay, I have until then, and then we can start, planning for the next baby. And we had both agreed on October that we were gonna start trying. But then I started thinking, if I get pregnant in October, the baby wouldn't be due until July, and so I would be pretty pregnant in the more hotter months. So I was like, well, what's the harm? Let's just try 1 month earlier, because probably won't get pregnant that quickly. I mean, we had no idea, since we weren't trying for Everly, how fast it was going to take us. If it was going to take us a while, no clue. So he agreed that we would start trying in September. And so once we agreed on that, I already went ahead and I downloaded some apps to help track my cycle. And the apps, I'll show you guys the apps that I used. The first one that I used, I'd actually used this before I was pregnant with Everly. I'd actually used it to track my period, to know when I was ovulating so we wouldn't have sex during that time, to try to avoid getting pregnant. And that was the Flow app, and this is probably my favorite app out of the two. I just really like how it's laid out. I'll show you guys what it looks like. It's already in the pregnancy mode, so you can see what it looks, because you switch. So like first it'll be like kind of you're trying to conceive mode, tracking mode, and then once you get pregnant it switches to pregnancy mode. But let me go back when I started tracking my cycle. Sorry if I sound out of breath. Wow, I feel like I sound like I just ran a mile. Okay, so I started tracking my period in May. Her birthday was in April, so I was getting the baby fever. And I was still nursing Everly at this point very frequently. She was probably still nursing like 3 times a day, when she turned 1. And once she turned 1, we slowly, very slowly started to wean her off. I really let her take control of it. That being said, my periods were still all over the place. I did not have a regular period. In May, I started my period in the 11th. And then in June, I didn't start until the 16th. And then in July, it was the 11th again. And then August, it was the 1st. And then in September, it doesn't show now, but I think it was around the 11th again, I think. Here, I can look on my other app though and see exactly when I did ovulate. The other app that I used was Ovia app, and I actually really liked this one too. This was a really good one. Now I don't know, I'm like looking at it again, I'm like, maybe I do like this one better. I don't know. This one also shows you like how fertile you are. So if you didn't know, which I didn't know this before I was pregnant with Everly, I really didn't know any of this until just really recently when we were going through our journey. Every woman has a fertile window, and it usually is about 5 days, and it can be anywhere in your cycle. So your fertile window is like when you ovulate, and so I really like the Ovia app because it tells you exactly how fertile you probably are during that time. I mean, it's an app, so it can't be 100%, but it gives you a really good idea of when you need to do the dance, you know? So, which is nice because you don't want to be having sex every day. That's honestly not the best way to get pregnant. It can really lower a guy's sperm count, and it actually will make it harder for you to get pregnant. So you definitely want to be tracking your cycles and when you're ovulating. I'm pretty sure sperm can live inside of you for like, I think maybe like 2 days. So it's really like the 2 days you leading up to ovulation. Those 3 days are key, I think. So pick like one of those days to do it, and then like on your ovulation day, and you'll be golden. If you're doing this naturally, that's gonna be your best bet of getting pregnant. So I really like the Ovia app for that. And that one also switches over to a pregnancy one as well. Since it is an app and it's not going to be 100% accurate, I actually purchased Ovulation Tests because my periods were so still all over the place. I wanted to get this so I knew exactly when I was ovulating. There are other ways of telling too. I know a lot of people do it by their temperature. People wear like the Ava bracelets. I didn't personally do that, but I know a lot of people have success in that. So if that's something you're interested in. But I will grab my ovulation test to show you guys which ones I bought. They were just super cheap off Amazon. Okay, so here they are. The box looks a little rough now, but this is what it looks like, and I just got them off of Amazon. I'll link them down below if you guys are interested in. It does work as a pregnancy test in the fact that it does work through your pee, your urine, but like on a pregnancy test, if you see a faint line at all or any kind of line, that means you're pregnant. This does not work like that. There will always be a line, but it's when the second line is darker than the control line, that means you're ovulating, which I did not know that. I should have done more research before, but I started taking them when my fertile window began according to my app, and I got a faint line and I didn't really know what that meant, and so I thought maybe I was ovulating. I had no idea what I was doing. And I just kept taking him, the line just kept looking the exact same, and I was like, this isn't working, what's going on? And then I did some more research and I realized how it actually works. So yeah, I'll show you guys a picture of what it looked like leading up to my ovulation. And I'm really, really glad that I did purchase this because I did not ovulate when my app thought I was ovulating. It was like several days later that I actually ovulated. And I was so scared that I wasn't gonna ovulate that month, but I did. I just ovulated a lot later. And so that's the thing why I really like these, because you don't really know, and with these, you do. Another tip that I recommend is you before you get pregnant and when you start your TTC journey, I would go ahead and start taking prenatals. When you're pregnant, prenatals are actually meant for you because the baby is taking all the nutrients and leaving you with hardly anything. So those prenatals are making sure that you and the baby are getting that. And so by you taking those prenatals beforehand, it's letting your body get prepared, you know, letting your body know that you are ready and you are fully nurtured. So I would definitely recommend that. I actually stopped nursing the month that I got pregnant. So I was still nursing when I got pregnant. It wasn't very frequently though. It was typically just like once a night. Maybe every once in a while she would nurse in the morning, but that was really it. And I know that if you are currently breastfeeding and trying to conceive, that can also really affect it, just because I actually did not get a period until I was 7 months postpartum, and that's different for everybody. So all that can really affect your cycles, and yeah, so just keep that in mind if you're nursing. So now I'm going to talk about the 2-week wait. Oh man, guys, this is definitely the rougher end of the whole journey. The 2-week wait is torture, but I want to go over a few symptoms that I did experience while I was waiting to take a test. Because if you take a test too early, then it is very possible, if you are pregnant, that you're going to get a negative result. So, 2-week wait. I didn't have very many symptoms, but I had a few symptoms where I was very hopeful because I remember experiencing that same thing with Everly. So the main one for me was my lower back hurt very bad. And I had that exact same thing with Everly right before I found out I was pregnant with her. So I was very excited when I started feeling my back hurt. But then again, you're like, maybe I'm all in my head. Maybe it's not actually hurting. I just like want it to hurt. But it really was hurting. Another symptom that I experienced was a bit of cramping, and this cramping was actually due to implantation cramping, and that's very normal for women to get. It also is another symptom that you just get very excited about. You're like, ooh, maybe that's a baby being planted in there. But those are really the only 2 symptoms that I experienced. Now you guys can like go back and watch my finding out I'm pregnant video. You'll see that I did end up testing too early, and that was because I ovulated later. So when you ovulate later in the month, that can affect when you're going to get a positive result, and that is exactly what happened to me. I got a false negative, but then I tested a few days later and it was positive, thankfully. I just want to say, for those women and men that are out there trying for a baby, don't give up. I just want to say you are in my thoughts and my prayers. I know that it is so hard, and my heart just goes out to you. I also want to say, if there's anyone that has any other awesome tips, please leave them down in the comments so that everyone can read them. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video, and if you are trying to conceive, good luck, sending you all the baby dust. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you in my next one. Bye guys!